Hello, everyone, and welcome. Illiana Stock Car Radio episode number 52 on this June 16th, 2020. Beautiful evening here. Got a wonderful show coming up for everybody here this evening. We will have shortly on the show our guest, Radical Rich Boal from the South Bend Motor Speedway. We'll keep you up to date on all the latest news and happenings from around the area's local racetracks. And we will also talk about the news of former Illiana Motor Speedway owner Mike Mikuly's passing. So stay tuned. Good episode coming your way. Well, Chris,
did it work that time?
It worked. See, so last week I started it, and it was kind of doing the jumpy thing on our end, and I went back and watched the video, and it was smooth as could be, fine as could be.
All right.
So I'm just hoping, got my fingers crossed, that it worked out a little bit better this time. So, new week.
Yeah, hopefully.
New week, new episode. Those of us watching on Facebook, welcome into the show. Those that are joining us maybe on YouTube for the first time, since we're dual streaming, first episode, welcome to the show. Hopefully you guys have checked out the show before. First time this year that I think we've had anything pop up on YouTube, Chris.
Well, yeah, we've been kind of fighting gremlins and technical difficulties and working a lot, both of us.
Technical difficulties and gremlins, that kind of seems to be the theme here.
Yeah, kind of I think everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So you had some of your own towards the end of last week. Of course, getting ready to go racing finally. And your truck is not having it.
Well, yeah. I was out visiting a friend Friday night after our stream, had a little business to do. And then, God, that's going to get comments.
Yeah, nothing's good's going to come from that.
Well, Zolod's, I'm sure, will be here momentarily, so he's probably going to comment anyway.
Yeah, he'll catch up.
But yeah, so I'm going through downtown Chesterton, and I pull up to a stop sign, and I cannot obey. Putting the pedal to the floor and just kind of still creeping. This is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Get up to the next one, and yeah, nothing's happening. So parked it in the parking lot of a church and called up the tow truck. So full brake line replacement all the way around.
Nice.
Yeah, but like I commented on the post I put up on Saturday, I would much rather that happen going 20 miles an hour than going 80 on the way to the racetrack.
Right. I've had it happen at about 40 or 45. So even that is pretty bad. So yeah, 20 is at least, I guess, best of the worst case scenario. Yeah. I guess we got going on there.
And it's happened to me before, so I recognized the symptoms very quickly, knew exactly what I needed to do to shut it down and get it all in one piece.
Well, that's a good thing, but did get to the racetrack this past weekend, so that was always positive, right?
It is, and many thanks to our hydration specialist Jason Moorhead for carrying my crippled ass out there.
Yeah, he picked up the hitchhiker there on Saturday. So, who knows? Maybe you were a little bit of good luck for him. Heard he ran pretty decent. So.
Yeah, car looked pretty good.
So maybe you're good luck. Maybe he'll make you keep hitching a ride. I don't know. But we shall see. Yeah, in the S4 crew, brakes just slow you down. So, and I've seen stand drive. So that's kind of where we're at. Myself, I didn't get to the racetrack this past weekend, but looking forward to getting there at some point here in the next maybe few weeks or whatnot. But
yeah, we missed you out there.
Yeah, so slowly treading into the waters of normal civilized actions and social interactions and whatnot. So I definitely look forward to getting out there sometime soon. So kind of like I mentioned at the top of the show, we got quite the show coming up. Here in just a little bit, we'll be welcoming Rich Boal into the show.
He sent us a message here while we were getting ready to go live and said, give him about a half hour. Apparently 3 race cars is a lot of work.
Yeah, so he's on his way home on his way home from the shop, it seems. So we'll be welcoming him in just a moment. But while we got the time, I struggled where to put this in the show, but I guess
it's kind of given to us here.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just start with the top news, I guess, of the day. Announced this morning the passing of Mike Mikuly, former owner of the Illiana Motor Speedway, the 1994 street stock track champion at the Speedway. Ran the track from 2000 through 2015. Just provided us all a place to go racing. So I noted my thoughts and my reactions and stuff on it. But before I do that, I'm going to kind of let you give your thoughts and your take on everything.
Oh, making me do it first.
Yeah, because you know how I can get long-winded and soapbox and stuff like that. So I'm going to let you go first.
I can't?
Well, you can, but I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Okay, well, I'll take a point here. Mike definitely, he's kind of a divisive figure, I guess, in the local racing scene, but you really, you can't take away that without him, we would have lost Illiana a decade and a half before we did.
Right.
So, I might not have agreed with all of the choices that he made, but I definitely appreciate, him stepping up, buying the track from Harry when Harry was on the way out. And, he kind of gave us our break doing racing photography. So I will always owe that to him. And, I over the years, we kind of became pretty good friends with the family, through them, met the Algers. So that got us in at Shady Hill Speedway. So, it always sucks losing a member of the racing family.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of wrote down my thoughts on it just because I have this habit of stumbling over my words and not being able to get everything out. So I at least wanted to kind of note it and kind of get ready for it. So here's kind of what I put together on it. So when we got word Sunday evening about Mike's declining health, I readied myself for the news of his passing because based on the post that we saw, it seemed like it was kind of things were deteriorating quickly. And that news obviously came this morning. Over the last several days, I took time to try to remember some stories about Mike or interactions that I may have had with him. And reflecting on that, I never had too many interactions with him. I always kind of looked at him as like similar to the principal in school. Like if you didn't have to see him, it was a good thing. But what I do know is that Mike gave us 16 more years at Illiana Motor Speedway than we otherwise might not have had. He bought the place in 2000, turned it into a magnificent facility with fresh pavement, concrete walls, amazing lighting, and so much more. So much of the foundation of my personal adult life lies on that property in Cherville. If not for Mike Mikuly's Illiana Speedway, this show and my friendship with you probably wouldn't exist. Also, the brotherhood I have with my S4 Motorsports teammates probably wouldn't exist. Illiana is where I first met the woman I now call my wife, and has given me some amazing experiences and memories that I otherwise might not have had. So to Mike Mikuly, I say thank you for giving us a racing home, a place to create memories, and so much more. And as Stan says, thanks for letting us play in your sandbox for many, many years. So
now I kind of wish I would have written something. You got to give me more notice.
Well, notice is not something we do around here. So it's just not something we do. So toast Mike Mikuly and everything he did. So Godspeed to Mike. And this will start a game of what Chris has in his cup tonight. Undoubtedly, I'm sure. But so kind of in transitioning from everything that goes on at Illiana Motor Speedway, obviously later this season, South Bend Motor Speedway will have Illiana Reunion Night. And to typically the last couple of years, what we've done is we've selected a handful of individuals from Illiana's past that we've honored. And I know a lot of the folks from South Bend, a lot of influential people who make that decision on who to honor watch this show. I have that on good authority. So I will throw out the nomination this year that we recognize Mike Mikuly and his efforts at Illiana Motor Speedway on Illiana Reunion Night coming up at South Bend Motor Speedway. And I think they put that schedule out, the revised schedule, kind of when all that will be. If you want to talk and ramble on, I can maybe get that for everybody.
Well, I should have looked it up and printed it off and started entering it in my calendar, but I know the next couple weeks are already going to be action packed. We just had an official opening night this past weekend and a night of destruction the day after.
Right.
And this coming weekend, we're going to have another Saturday. And have you found it out? Because I'm running out of stuff to say.
Yep, I got it. So August 15th is the third annual Illiana Reunion Night at the South Bend Motor Speedway. I'm sure at that time, probably stories about Mike will be thrown around. But like I mentioned a few minutes ago, I definitely want to nominate him as someone we honor for this year's Illiana Reunion Night.
Absolutely.
So with that, one more Godspeed to Mike Mikuly, and obviously our thoughts and prayers are with his family, the Alger family at this time. So in the meantime, from the Peanut Gallery, Tony Alexander wants to know where his shirt is. And
his shirt is in transit.
Right. And Stan's guess this week is brake fluid in your cup.
No, the brake fluid's back in the truck. It was all over the parking lot and all over my engine bay. Now it's back in the truck.
So now that we've gotten that out of the way and kind of the downer portion of the show, we'll shift gears a little bit and turn to some positive stuff. While we're waiting for Rich to get back home and get settled in and everything, let's turn to our weekly Winners Circle segment. It's a renamed segment where we want to highlight the winners from this past weekend. This segment, our weekly Winners Circle segment, is going to be presented by Damn It Race Videos. Damn It Race Videos provides quality racing videos from the Grundy County Speedway and the South Bend Motor Speedway. You can watch all the videos on Damn It Race Videos YouTube page and also follow them on Facebook for the latest news and information on their schedules of video postings. So that being said, let's take a look at the A feature results from Plymouth Speedway this past Saturday night, June 14th. Cody Williams going to take the 600 micro sprint A main. James Headley in the mini stocks. Austin Hubbard for the street stock class. Ron Wilkes for the super sports. Derek Losh for the UMP modifieds. So just getting a message that Rich is ready. So we will go over. Yeah, we will go over the results for South. Yeah, let's go over the results of South Bend Motor Speedway real quick before we get to Rich. So our A feature winners from Saturday, June 14th, Bobby Stremme in Outlaw Late Models. Our guest, I think, this evening had a hand in making that happen.
Making that happen.
Austin Maynard in Sportsman Late Model class. Nick Stremme in the street stock division, Derek Davis for the front wheel drives, and Andrew Coates in the Hornets division. So opening night for Shady Hill and Grundy County Speedway just a couple weeks away. So when they have their opening nights, they will be added to this section. So, Chris, are you ready to welcome in Rich Boal?
I'm just praying this works.
I'm praying it works too. But to make this work, I've got to kick you out.
Okay. Well, good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, and let's try to have good stuff going on.
Yeah.
All right. So, Chris, I'm kicking you. I'm giving you the boot. All right. So let's give Rich Boal a call. See if we can make this work.
Hello.
Hey, Rich, this is Jeremy with Illiana Stock Car Radio. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain this evening. Wouldn't do any good anyways.
I hear you there.
So thanks for taking some time out to come on the show with us.
No problem, man.
So I guess we'll kind of get started here. First, maiden voyage on the show. Welcome. I'm sure you've seen us before, so hopefully we won't scare you off too bad.
watched it a few times.
Like I said, try not to scare you off too much here, but so we're kind of coming out on the other side of the COVID pandemic here. Hopefully you and family did well through everything.
Oh yeah. We got through it no problem. Matter of fact, I don't even know anybody that had it, so I guess it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always a good thing. So one thing I like about this show, kind of gives us the opportunity to learn about some competitors at the local tracks that, especially, South Bend, one that, Chris and I have gravitated to over the last couple of years. And you're one of them, someone that would like to know a little bit more about. So I guess I'll start with the question we ask everybody is, how did you get started in racing?
Well, my dad and my Uncle John Swollen used to race, and I just was involved pretty much my whole life, and that's where I'm at today.
So what, as you've come up through the ranks and whatnot, what tracks have you raced, what different divisions? It seems like you've kind of done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we pretty much ran everything but open wheel modifieds. Yeah, we've pretty much ran everything other than that.
So I'm curious because in going to South Bend and hearing Tony do announcing and everything out there, a lot of folks out there with nicknames. So I gotta ask, where did the Radical nickname come from?
Well, I was a freshman in high school, and we was in biology class, and after black guy next to me, I didn't know really how to say it. Sorry.
That's all right. We're not worried about it.
I don't know. They said something about the teacher said something about Radical or something, and he knew I raced, and he said, "Hey, that's you, Radical Rich," and it's stuck ever since.
That's not too bad. I mean, usually when I think of the nicknames, you always think there's going to be some kind of elaborate story, and it's usually pretty simple.
Yeah, it has. We laughed about it for a while, but it's stuck. I mean, it's been here for 35 years, so.
Right. So I'm also getting requests to ask you about the phrase "chilling the most."
That's a Kid Rock deal, and I just kind of thought it was cool, and I just put it on the back of the car back in actually like 2003, I think. And then we didn't have it on the car for a while, and everybody was like, "Well, you need to put Chillin' Most back on it." So we have, and that's where it's been ever since.
Kid Rock's Cowboy. I like that.
Yeah.
That's the only place I've ever heard it is in that song. So I guess that's fitting that's where it came from. So you mentioned you've been around a while, in just a couple years. So even though you kind of let the cat out of the bag, how long you've been around the racing scene? One thing that I kind of like to ask people and get their opinions on and perspective on is, you've seen a lot of changes in short track racing and motorsports over the years. So how many, I guess, okay, there's questions coming from Peanut Gallery over here. So we'll take them here in a minute. So what's one change that you've seen over the years that's been really good for the sport, and maybe one that's been not so good?
Oh man, that's pretty tough. Well, the pay hasn't really changed much, that's for sure.
But the expense of the cars has, for sure, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, to be honest with you. It's really a hard question to answer. I mean, like Kevin and Vern, the South Bend, man, they're doing a pretty good job. They're, they're getting it done, but I don't know. That's tough from past to now. It's really hard to. The car counts are way different, a lot more classes than back when I first started. You might have had 2 classes, but now we got like 6 classes a night. So, I mean, that's changed tremendously.
Right. So, Nick Stremme, he wants to know how many feature wins you think you have.
Well, I got 101 now.
101 over in the Century
Yeah.
Club there.
Yep.
So I was watching a video that
Unless I can count Bobby's win.
you know,
Saturday night, since
well,
he was in my car.
I was gonna say, does that include being a car owner, or is that just as a driver?
Yeah, exactly. So if that's the case, 102.
You know what? We'll go ahead and count it. That's still gonna count. So I was watching a video that was done prior to last year. Our buddy Ricky Klein did that over Kryptonite Photography. It was his shop preview show, and he did one out with you. And in the video, you said you weren't going to do any points racing last year. You guys were going to travel around and may not be at South Bend as much. And then you go and win the track championship last year.
Well,
So,
yeah.
when did that switch to the running for points?
Well, we didn't really run for points. That's the sad part of it. Is what happened was we wanted to do the Kalamazoo thing. Well, with work, it didn't work out. Okay, so but my dad, he is all about South Bend Motor Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I am too. Don't get me wrong, because that's home. That I love that place. I got more laps than anybody probably ever has got around that place. But no, we're just after feature wins, and well, last year we was able to do that. You know, we won 7 regular night features, and then we won the showdown for the second year in a row. 3 out of 4 years. So we ended up with 8 feature wins at South Bend, but the 7 feature wins and consistency, and you know, a couple of guys had some bad luck. You know, Charlie Hanna wrecked, and Steve Stacy had motor problems. You know, so I mean, it just happened. We was consistent. We had no DNFs, and it's just how it was. I mean, when you win 7 features in a year out of 15 nights, you know, it's pretty much
the points
how you do it.
Yeah, points tend to take care of themselves at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So, but then, you know, that's how we're doing it again this year. I'm not worried about points. I've raced 35 years. Points doesn't mean nothing to me anymore. All I care about is winning features and making my dad happy.
All right, probably at this point, it's just about going out and having fun and enjoying it, right?
Absolutely.
So in addition to that, last year, winning the Outlaw Late Model Track Championship, you started working with Doug Fox, Dancing Doug Fox. He owned the street stock he was racing last year. I want to follow up on a question that Ricky asked you in that video last year. What's it like been to work with Doug? What's it like, in his races, kind of going from race car driver to race car owner?
Well, with Doug, it's never a dull moment, man. We have a lot of laughs and stuff, and we've been struggling. The year started off pretty good last year, man. We picked off feature win, I think second or third night into it. We had a lot of top 2s and top 5s, and then all of a sudden, about middle of July, I think it was, man, we started struggling. So we got another car this year, and it's been nothing but struggles with it for some reason. Not sure why, and everybody's just pretty much frustrated right now. But Doug's a good guy, man. We're gonna get it figured out, and it's awesome having him as my driver, and wouldn't have anybody else in the car. But as far as being an owner, yeah, it's you definitely take on a different role. You know, I mean, as a racer, it's like you know what's going on. But as a driver, it's like, okay, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And so I decided to put a different guy in charge of the street stock, so I'm not getting Doug frustrated and me being frustrated when stuff ain't going right. So it's a learning deal, and we're doing our best. I think we got a pretty good team, and hopefully we'll get this car figured out soon so Doug can get back in victory circle.
Yep, absolutely. So with his struggles there, kind of talk about yours. You went to Victory Lane as a car owner this past. Well, hell, you've been to Victory Lane the last 2 weeks at South Bend, both as a driver and as an owner.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually.
So I'd say your season's starting out pretty good.
Yeah. So far, I broke a locker in my rear end Saturday night, and so that kept me from my car was actually pretty good up until Charlie spun, caused a chain reaction, which wasn't his fault, just a racing deal. And I got into the back of Steve, and I ended up spinning. But in the meantime, I broke a locker, and so it was just pretty much hold on to the car and still finished third. But yeah, Bobby Sturmey drove my yellow Senator Outlaw John Long front clip car and put it in Victory Lane. So it was kind of a win-win situation. We got the money and went on from there.
Awesome. So looking at some of our comments, got one coming here. This is a good question. So our buddy Stan Zolad's over here. He wants to know what your therapy bill is for being an owner to 3 race cars.
You know what? I don't know how that happened. It just it started back in what year do I want to say? 2014 or something like that. I had a sportsman car, and we was running at South Bend, and Steve Brown still owned the track, and him and Tony decided that they weren't going to run sportsman no more. So I told Dad that, well, I'm not going to get to run South Bend no more because I don't have an outlaw car. Well, he said, well, forget that, man. I guess we need to buy an outlaw car. So we ended up buying one from Denny Myrie, and that's where we've been ever since. But in the meantime, we still had the sportsman car, ran that, and then we wrecked the outlaw car at the Gambler back in 2017, I think it was. And by that, well, actually go back in time, is we sold the sportsman and got a street stock, and I was doing double duty then. And we wrecked the outlaw at the Gambler, and I just told Dad, I was like, well, let's just have fun with the street stock rest of the year. He's like, no, we can't do that. We got to have an outlaw car. Because we needed to put a front clip on it, and I was like, I didn't want to deal with it. So the next day, I called Mike Suchuk up, and I said, hey, I know you got like 3 outlaw cars. I'm interested in one. Well, he wanted to sell me one that didn't even make the race, and I wanted the one that won the race. Right. So I had to kind of jive him around a little bit, act like I was coming to look at the one that didn't make the race. And so we get over there and this, that. And I said, well, I want that car. He's like, man, I don't really want to sell it. I said, well, my dad's here with the checkbook right now. So
money talks.
So that's how we ended up with that car. So then we got the other car fixed. And that's pretty much how we're end up with 3 cars.
It always happens that way, just kind of by happenstance. They just start stacking up.
Now, in the meantime, and it's kind of like last year, we wanted to run Kalamazoo, but with my work and stuff, it was hard for me to get there. So now I got an outlaw car that's basically just sitting there. And so I was like, this year, man, I was like, well, this car's got to get raced. And then all this stupid COVID stuff happened, and I was like, no, it definitely has to get raced, and I can't race both of them. Kalamazoo hasn't opened yet, so South Bend opened up. So I was like, all right, here's a prime example. Let's put a guy in, whoever wants, not whoever wants to race. We ask people, but right. So far we put Sean Amore in the car, and then Bobby Sturmey, and so they both done us pretty good. And like I said, Bobby Sturmey was able to pick up the win this week, which that was awesome. So we'll see what happens this week, who drives it, and it's still undetermined. I was planning on driving it because I was going to go to Gillsburg with the blue car, but it's Father's Day, and I don't know what's going on yet, so we'll see what happens. We got till Thursday to decide.
Yep, there you go. Look, another question coming in from Tony Kapansky. Who's your favorite driver and your least favorite driver to race against? I'll make this a generalized, like all time, since I'm sure you've raced with a bunch of different drivers. I don't want you to necessarily call out anybody current, maybe. As far as the least favorite guys to race against, but kind of going back through the Rolodex of folks you raced against, who's maybe your favorite and maybe not so favorite?
Well, the worst guy I hate to race against is Brandon Ross. Because he can't pick a lane, but Steve Stacy, Charlie Hanna, they're tough, man. They're tough to beat. And, I hate racing against them guys just because they're tough. I mean, it's fun racing with them. You can drive side by side with them. Have no problems. But yeah, I mean, Brian Ross and race against Tyler and Jared, you don't have to worry about them guys, but then you got some squirrels that you have to worry about, and that's Brandon Ross is probably the worst one in my books.
All right, next question comes from Ricky Klein Jr., our buddy Kryptonite Photography over there. He said he wants to know what the biggest race that you won.
Well, the biggest race I've won so far has been this past last year is when I won when they did the memorial deal for the Blunt family. Mm-hmm. I won that race, and then the showdowns, I won 3 out of 4 of them. So those have been my biggest wins in my career. To be honest with you, 35 years of racing, those are my only biggest wins.
Well, hey, you got to have something.
Yeah, we won a lot of races, but just never been, big ones.
You got over 100, so I'd say that number in itself, I think, is big. So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
So one thing we wanted to do this week is a little bit different with our guests. I'm always try to be serious and everything, and ask really serious, really like good questions. But I was listening to like a radio interview this past week, and they had a little segment with whatever artists they were interviewing. It's called 3 Stupid Questions, where they just pick 3 of the most off the wall questions out there. And they have their guest answer them. Would you be interested in playing that?
Sure.
All right. So, first one: if animals could talk, which species do you think would be the rudest?
Which species?
Yeah.
I have no clue.
I'm gonna say cats. I think cats would probably be the worst.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see. These are some really weird off-the-wall questions. What do you think the worst thing that a person could put in their biography on a dating app website?
That they're huge.
Let's see. How do bankruptcy attorneys make any money?
Well, they probably charge a lot to have somebody do it. I don't know. To be honest with you, never done that.
See, just random off the wall questions to keep things good. Another question from the group over here in comments. What's the favorite track that you've raced on?
My favorite track I've ever raced on is Rockford. I love Rockford Speedway. South Bend is my all-time favorite, but Rockford is that's one track that I love to go to every year for the Bahama Nationals.
That'll make a lot of our Illinois listeners very happy.
Yeah, we have a blast when we go there.
Awesome. Well, Rich, before we let you go, I want to give you an opportunity to thank anybody that helps you out, people on your crew, sponsors, anything like that, partners you may have. So I want to give you the floor and give you a few minutes to do that.
Yep. Definitely. I got to thank my dad 100% there. He's the owner of all the cars. My wife, Lisa, my daughter, Haley, my street stock driver, Doug Fox, my crew, Randy Taberski, we call him Cross, Damon LaPlace, we call him Jazz, Tommy Davis, R&B Car Company, Grand Roofing, 1-800 Water Stop, Lowry, 1-800 Water Stop. I think I already said that. Kiko Party Pack, Ryman Design, Advanced Properties, Rocket Fabrication, None of Your Performance. Oh man, it's off the card for me. It's hard to tell. Stetler Performance, Tech Work, Trailer Sales, South Bend Motor Speedway. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. There's probably more, but I'm not thinking of it.
Well, that's all right. We'll I'm sure we'll want to have you back on again sometime down the road. And anybody you forgot, we'll catch them down the road.
All right, awesome job, guys.
All right, Rich. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking some time out to talk to us tonight, and hopefully we'll catch you at the racetrack here pretty soon.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yep, bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was Radical Rich Boal. Let's bring back in our co-host of the show, Chris Goodacre.
Oh, what? Hey, well, I'm back. I'm awake.
You're back now. You're good. Oh, that was our local racing spotlight for this week. Radical Rich Boal, our local racing spotlight presented by S4 Motorsports Marketing. You find S4 Motorsports on Facebook and Instagram. See how they can get your small business's message out front with on and off track motorsports marketing.
Well, how about that? We got sponsored segments now.
Yeah, I figured I'd do a little bit different than just just reading everybody off right there at the end. We'll spice it up a little bit, kind of put them where they need to go. So Chris, what'd you think of the interview there with Rich Boal?
That was cool. Rich is one of those guys that I always want to talk to, but I never seem to manage to get down to that end of the pits with enough time. And I try not to be too much of a nuisance on Saturdays. I know everybody's really busy that time of day.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, when you go to a racetrack, you can always tell, even if you're only there maybe once or twice, you can always tell who like the guys are at the track, right? So if you go to Illiana back, you might think Eddie Hoffman or Mike White, Jeff Cannon, because I know he watches. You go to Grundy and maybe think Ricky Baker or somebody like that. Definitely in South Bend, you think Rich Boal. So definitely cool to have him on, hear a little bit more of his story, kind of how he's gotten where he's at, and kind of check in with him and chat with him. I know he watches the show every now and then, so definitely cool to catch up with him.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of the 3 stupid questions segment? So it's something I wanted to try.
Stupid question.
I got like 90 of them. And my plan was to like really go through and pick out some good ones beforehand, but they had like 100.
Well, yeah, you know how we are with plans.
Yeah, I had 100 things going on before the show, so that did not get in it. So I was just reading off the list and found the most random ones that I could. So this is something we want to.
I was kind of struggling to figure out what. And Ricky wants me to answer.
So what did I ask? So I said, what species do you think would be the rudest?
Oh, absolutely, cats.
Yeah, it's got to be cats. I can't think of anything more
rude. That I think is proof in and of itself that the world is not flat, because if it was, cats would have pushed everything off the edge by now.
Right. I totally agree there. I think the second one was the worst thing you could put your dating profile.
Apparently my picture.
Okay, he went there. And then how do bankruptcy attorneys make any money?
Counterfeiting.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't think about that one. That is a good one. That's a very good one. So let's see. What else do we got on tap for this evening? Already went through our weekly winner's circle. So let's go through our local racing calendar for this upcoming week. You know what? The 4 tracks that we cover, they all got something going on this week, Chris.
Yeah, they do.
Let's start.
Busy weekend.
Yeah, start with the Grundy County Speedway. This Saturday, June 20th, open practice. This will be a night practice.
Yep. First time they're turning on the lights officially.
Turning on the lights, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. this Saturday, the 20th, open practice. If you are not aware, opening night announced will be Friday, June 26th, and they have a rain date of Saturday, the 27th.
So built-in rain date.
So we're going racing next weekend, pretty much no matter what, unless it decides to rain Friday and Saturday.
Quiet.
So
not even admit that. No.
So we're just going to go with the fact we're going racing at Grundy County Speedway next weekend. But this upcoming weekend, open practice, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. under the brand new lights at the facility. Plymouth Speedway, they've been rocking and rolling. So this Saturday, June 20th, they've got UMP Modified Super Streets, Thunderstock, 600 micros and 4 cylinders on the bill. South Bend Motor Speedway, Saturday, June 20th, Value Tool presented this weekend's events. Outlaw late models, Sportsman late models, street stocks, front wheel drives, Hornets, mini cups, mini wedges. Definitely a full slate of stuff going on.
We're going to be racing for many hours.
It's going to be a action-packed evening, that's for sure. And then Shady Hill Speedway, their final test and tune this Saturday the 20th. It'll be test and tune for the Bombers, Pro Lates, and Stock Car classes from 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5 to 9 for us normal folks over here on the slow time. So we're getting to it, Chris, man.
Yeah,
season started.
Yeah, we went 0 to 100 like overnight.
Yes, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of action going on. Just it kind of blows my mind how much we got going on coming at us here pretty quick.
Thinking about it, that's crazy to say because we're here middle of June. Normally, we're getting pretty close to mid-season championship, and here we are just starting.
Yeah, exactly. And typically, we wouldn't really bat an eyelash at all the racing action we've got going on because we kind of all got into a rhythm and stuff now, and we kind of know our schedules and know where we're going to be and know everything, and all that's kind of still getting ironed out and up in the air. So definitely this is a point where our buddy Tony Eldridge will say, get your backside trackside over the next couple of weeks and support your local short tracks. They've been hurting just like you guys during the COVID crisis. So make sure you get out and support them. So that being said, kind of get ready to wrap up this week's show. A couple of people.
We should text Moorhead and make sure he joins us before we go off the air this week.
Him and DJ, because they were fashionably late last week. And I tell you, at least a good thing about this week's show is we didn't have to rush off the air.
No tornado warnings.
No tornadoes or tornado warnings or anything like that. So that's at least a positive this week. But
so that's your one positive for this week is no tornado warnings.
Yeah, good weather, nice outside. Probably gonna go sit out on the deck after this and enjoy the evening air, so to speak.
There you go.
As soon as we're done here, but got to pay the bills a little bit more. Before we're done, our remaining partners we want to thank for this evening's episode, obviously Goodacre Photography. So
hey, that's me.
That's you. So is this past weekend's photos up now?
Oh my God. So Grundy's are because Dad restrained himself at Grundy, and we only took a few hundred. So those are up and ready to go. I'm working on South Bend, so you're enjoying your nice night here. I'm going to be hunched over the computer going through the 14,000 pictures that not really that many. It's like 1,400, but still.
That's still a lot of freaking pictures.
Well, yeah, I had to get rescued from South Bend because I was vehicle-less, so you put Dad at a racetrack, especially when he brings his own camera, and you're going to get some pictures.
Right.
So, yeah, I got about 1,400 from South Bend I'm working on. And then Lindsay and Tim, who were with us last year, they started at Shady Hill. They were out there for practice, and Tim got himself a camera, so he got a little click happy. So I got about 1,400 from Shady Hill, too. So those will be up hopefully soon, definitely this week. I'm going to try to get South Bend, I think, taken care of and posted tomorrow night, hopefully. And then Shady Hill should be pretty soon after that. And
where can folks find your photos if they would like to?
They can find them at goodacrephotography.com would be the main site. But I did this really cool thing. I think last year I figured out how to do it. You can put goodacrephotography.com/Grundy, South Bend, or Shady Hill to get right into your track.
Look at you go. And they can also find you on social media, correct?
They can. I just changed my Instagram password because God knows what it actually was, but I've logged back into that. So I'm going to be working on that. You can find us on Facebook. I'll have a kind of sampler pack of every set of pictures I post, along with the link directly into the album. So find us Facebook, Instagram, our website. I think we had a Twitter at one point, but God only knows what happened to it.
Interesting that you mentioned Twitter. I kind of want to bring that up. So this past weekend, I did something that I should have done a while ago. I'm conducting an experiment.
Oh, geez.
So I completely deleted the Twitter app on my phone, my iPad. I just completely deleted it. For me, that's typically where I go for like my NASCAR news and stuff. Follow all the media outlets and everything through that.
Like there's a lesson here.
Through that channel. And, I just got to the point where honestly, I think that's like the most vicious of the social media sites. So I said, you know what? Just everything that's gone on in the last few weeks and whatnot, I'm done with it. It's like, I just don't want that. I don't need that negativity because every time I get on there, I'd read something, it'd take me off, and it's just, I just didn't want that. So
you're avoiding potential soapboxes.
Correct. So over the last few days, I think I deleted it like Saturday, I think. Maybe after the Xfinity race on Saturday. And so I've been Twitterless for the last few days, and you got to get over that kind of withdrawal issue of like, I got to go check it. I got to see what's going on. But after you kind of get over that, it's like, nah, I don't miss it. So you're not missing anything on Twitter. I think that's the lesson. So Facebook and Instagram, I think is where you should be at.
I mean, I don't think Twitter is going to sponsor us anytime soon, but I think that's a good lesson.
Nah, that's all right. They can keep their money.
There you go.
I also want to thank International Women's Motorsports Association. You can find them at iwmanation.com and International Women's Motorsports Association on Facebook and Instagram. Check out. No, I don't think they're on Twitter. I haven't seen them there. I wouldn't know now anyways. So go check them out. Also, Left Turn Graphics. I want to thank them. And then also Driving DJ and the Driving DJ Network, since he kind of spun those off. And it's
we're
two different things. So
got some stuff going on over there.
Yeah, so for iRacing and sim racing content while we're not at the track, follow the Driving DJ and the Driving DJ Network on Facebook. Chris, anything else tonight?
Honestly, I can't really think of anything other than, just one more time, Mike Mikuly, thank you for everything that you may have inadvertently cost.
That's a way to put it.
Well, you said it, if it weren't for Illiana Motor Speedway, none of what we're doing right now would be happening.
Yeah, exactly. So, nope, I agree. Probably our final thoughts here for this evening. First, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, however you're watching us, make sure you follow us on that page, which you're watching us on. Either
and then go to the other one and follow us.
Yeah, and then go to the other one. You find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. If you're watching us, you haven't followed us, haven't subscribed, hit the follow, hit the subscribe, hit the like. That way you'll get updates on everything that we're posting, everything that we're doing. As tracks open up and we get to tracks and whatnot, we'll be posting more from the tracks, and we always kind of try to post local racing schedules and everything, kind of a one-stop place for all the news information on the local tracks in the area. So make sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And Chris, I'm with you. The final thing probably before we get away for this evening is just another salute to former track owner Mike Mikuly, Illiana Motor Speedway. That's what can you say? Like you said, and we talked about earlier, kind of without him and his influence and the things he did to bring us Illiana Motor Speedway, this show probably wouldn't exist. So this show is here to carry on the legacy of Illiana Motor Speedway and to get local racing, keep it alive and healthy in our area. So definitely kudos and thanks to him, and our thoughts still with his family and the Alger family as well. I hope everybody out there enjoyed the show this evening. I definitely want to thank Rich Boal for coming on, taking some time out to talk to us. Awesome interview. Awesome to learn a little bit more about him. And one of the competitors at South Bend Motor Speedway that we're still trying to learn. Obviously, we're still only a few years into our tenure over at South Bend Motor Speedway and heading out there and getting to learn everybody and the names and the faces and the cars and everything still. So it was really cool to have that opportunity. So that being said, hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to coming to you guys next Tuesday, same time, same places, Facebook and YouTube. And until then, enjoy your week, and we'll see you next time.